Hello, my name is Harry and I am your reporter for the BBC School News Report. Today, the Queen has signed the EU exit bill. NHS waiting figures have risen within the past years. Should schools be doing more on mental health? All of this and more on the Romsey School News Report. The NHS is one of Britain's most prized possessions and has helped millions. However, of almost 15.3 million A&D cases in England between July 2015 and June 2016, almost 2.3 million cases involved waits of 4 hours or more. Between 2013 and 2014, 260 A&D cases involved waits of 12 hours or more. However, between 2015 and 2016, this rose to 1,271 cases of waits with 12 hours or more. Is the NHS failing us, or are we failing it? I'm here with Izzy, a Year 10 pupil in the Romsey School. Izzy, what have your experiences been like with the NHS?
Mine have been very good, thanks Harry.
Do you think that we're failing the NHS or is it failing us?
I think that question could go both ways because I think some people are going to the NHS and asking for their help for unnecessary things. However, at the same time, I think maybe they need to help us more because just wait times and stuff.
The Queen has signed the exit bill today after Britain voted to leave the EU in the EU referendum. Will this be good or bad for Britain? We shall soon find out. I'm joined here with Miss Ratton, one of the Romsey School's music teachers, on the subject of the EU referendum. Good morning, Miss.
Good morning.
Do you think it's a good thing that Britain is leaving the EU or
No,
a bad thing?
I don't. I think that for important constitutional change there is sensible precedent in all sorts of foundations where vote needs to be 2/3 majority, and I don't think that the mandate is strong enough on the turnout from last year and the small margin of success of the Leave campaign to make such a constitutional change that will last for generations and cannot be undone.
Do you think that then leaving the EU will have an impact on us? And if so, do you know what?
I think it's going to have a huge impact on us. And I don't really know where to start, there's so much. I think economically it's disastrous. I think it's inward looking, which doesn't make sense in a world that's becoming full of global connections, where we cannot avoid being part of a global community. And people who say that we'll have bigger connections outside of Europe are just clutching at straws, because within Europe we've got much more power to negotiate and make a difference in the world. I also think that we are very likely to lose our union with Scotland, which will be disastrous for England, Wales, and there are all the issues around the peace process in Northern Ireland, which could well be derailed by the introduction of a new border between the United Kingdom and Southern Ireland.
Thank you, Miss. I'm here with the school's deputy head, Miss Eagle, to ask her about mental health. Hello, Miss.
Hi, morning.
What do you think can be done in schools to raise awareness of mental illness and support those with it?
Right, well firstly it's such an important issue. In 18 years of teaching I have seen a massive change, I have to say, in terms of mental health and anxiety in young people, and it really does concern me. It's worse than I've ever seen before. The other things that we need to do are make sure that the education's there so that people are aware, so that they can see any triggers within their own body if they're manifesting in any way at all with regard to mental health. So it's kind of number one, making sure that people have people to talk to. Number two, making sure they've got the education to be able to be aware of what's going on in their own body. And then obviously we've got other things like our counselling within school, our brilliant pastoral workers as well.
Thank you, Miss.
My pleasure.
Schools are closed. Thousands of flights have been cancelled due to Storm Stella, which has hit America. As carbon dioxide builds up in the atmosphere, the Earth's climate is changing. 2016 was the hottest year on record, for the third time in a row. and research shows that events such as storms, drought and floods are becoming more frequent. I'm here with Miss Blismus to ask about climate change. Miss, how do you think that climate levels could be reduced?
I think if people recycled more, so especially with the canteen, maybe if people put their drinks bottles into recycling bins, or maybe to recycle the cardboard that they have their chips in, would be a good step, and schools can definitely do that really easily.
Thank you, Miss. And do you have any ideas for CO2 emissions within fuels?
I think maybe encouraging more people to walk to school, so maybe do like a park and ride, so maybe if cars parked at Waitrose and then people actually would walk, and it would also be good for their health and their general well-being.
Thank you very much, Miss.